Hello everyone, Kolonji Murray with TaxAssurances. Just wanted to do a helpful video for tax filing every year. So one of the things that I come across every so often during the tax season, or early on in the tax season, are situations where people know that their tax return, whether it's a business return or a personal return, is going to be somewhat complicated. So they say, look, Kolonji, like I know it's going to be involved. Can you do me a favor? Can you do an extension? And by all means, I can definitely take care of that. And this is why it's important that we do file that extension for two reasons. One, if you do not file an extension and you do file your return after the deadline, the IRS, both for the business and for the personal, so God forbid it's on both sides, but both for the personal and for the business, they can impose a penalty for failure to file. So that's a penalty depending on the size of the business, depending on the personal circumstances. That can run into thousands of dollars. So that's the number one reason why you want to, if you know you're going to owe, if you know that you're supposed to have a filing done on a particular deadline, why you want to have that done. The other reason is you want to try to minimize your total interest that you're going to accrue. So yes, we can do an extension, but you also are going to accrue some interest along the way. So you want to kind of minimize that as well, and just kind of be conscious of that date or those dates, so that you can try to get to the date, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, what have you, after that to get it filed. When you do an extension, you do have 6 months from the date that you file the extension or the deadline. That's the initial deadline until you're supposed to file from there. So for instance, if you have, let's say, a partnership, or let's say you have an S corporation, that filing deadline is March 15th typically. Now, depending on the calendar year, there may be some differences, but that's kind of the date that they usually at the IRS shoot for in terms of the extension date. The deadline date. If it is for let's say an LLC or a sole proprietorship, and even a personal return, that's the April 15th date that people are used to in terms of meeting that date, in terms of making sure they file on time. But either way, each one of those months, each one of those filing deadlines, you have 6 months from March 15th and from April 15th to file the return. If not, again, you can incur more interest and penalties on top of that. So just some information about filing deadlines, doing extensions, so that you can try to avoid any unneeded penalties or anything like that. Obviously, if you've got more questions about that or anything else for that matter, by all means, reach out. I'd love to help. Talk to you soon.